What's going on, guys? Will back with another new review of a few Spydercos that I've tried and I've noticed seem to be some of the more popular of them. So, me coming from the standpoint of being a kind of new knife enthusiast, of course, immediately started hearing about Spydercos. Did a little bit of research, initially wondering, why they're so weird looking. Did a lot of research on them and decided to dip my toe in and see what's going on with these things. Disregard the blade steels. That they're all, well, two of them are different. Not that important for this video. But three of the main ones I see people really gravitate towards two right now: Paramilitary 3, Sage 5, Manix 2. Yes, I know the Paramilitary 2, which is basically just the big brother of this one. It's another popular one too, but it sounds like this one's kind of taken over the mantle lately because it's a little bit smaller, more compact. I know the Shaman is another one that some people like. I did give the Shaman a try. I did do a review for it. I was very disappointed in it. I understand why some people liked it, but I was disappointed in it, and I really thought I was going to like that knife. So, after messing with some of these for a while, I understand why people love them. I really do. I also have some frustrations with them that I'm going to go over. I'm sure that they're probably similar to some others. Doesn't make them a bad knife, but there's little things that, as much as the 3 has a lot of aftermarket scales and clips and stuff, doesn't seem to be as many for some of the other ones, and I kind of wish there was, because I kind of wish with these knives, I kind of wish I could just morph all 3 of them into one super knife. So I'll start with the Paramilitary 3. I mean, I get it with this knife. The ergonomics on it are perfect. The feel in the hand is great. I know some people don't like the way it looks. I ultimately don't care. I actually think it's cool looking, and I think it's just mainly because it's so different. The compression lock works great. The action is easy. One thing I have noticed with this thing is that when I got it, it didn't have drop shut action. Like I do this, it would kind of start to come down a little bit, and either have to shake it really hard or have to use my thumb. So I took it apart. I know that Spyderco tells you not to. And I lubed it up. And I was able to, by retightening the screws and everything, get the action exactly where I wanted it. Because I was noticing that I either would get some blade play, which I have a little bit right now, and I can get it to drop shut. Otherwise, even if I just kind of tightened each side of the pivot perfectly, there was no blade play, I would do this, and it would just kind of stick. So now, what I'm running into is that I can get it to pretty much sit exactly where I want it to, as far as no blade play, and get to drop down. But now, the pivot screw tends to kind of unwind itself a little bit here and there. So if I'm fidgeting with this knife all day, I'd say within 3 or 4 hours, all of a sudden, I'm tightening the pivot screw back down. And in my little bit of time so far messing with knives, even some of the ones that have great action, I haven't had to do any of that kind of stuff before. And I kind of starting to wonder why a knife that's so popular would need so much maintenance. Well, it turns out that with Spydercos, at least, they put, I guess it's Loctite in there. That, kind of keeps the screw in place. So I will be picking some of that up to put in here and see if I can get exactly where I want it. Because that's my main gripe with this knife, is that I couldn't get the action where I wanted to. And now, like I say, I can feel it now, like the scales. You hear it? This screw is getting a little bit loose for me just messing with it. So got the Loctite coming. Hopefully that fixes it. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of with these, I'm going to show on the Manix that I switched on here, but I'll show you in a second. I don't like their clips. I mean, they're cool looking, a little bit too long. The 3 screws, I guess, what is it for extra? Just sturdiness, that's fine, but I mean, maybe some people prefer to have that much blade out of the knife, because I mean, there was pretty much that much coming out of this one too. At least that much of the knife is out. It doesn't seem right. I don't know if enough of you guys do pull from this thing to get it out. I tend to put my whole hand in the pocket and pull the knife out. So the clips I'm not a huge fan of. So try out, I think this is Flytanium's, which at the very least, it's better. So if you're front carrying a knife, you don't have the whole, handle of the knife digging into your stomach. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of, so we're gonna go to stage 5 for this, is the scales for the most part. You're either getting, on some of them, I guess you have some options. I will say the 3, like I said, all kinds of options everywhere. You got G10, you got the FRN. I think they say there's some that are micarta. I don't know if it's actually micarta, if it just feels like it's micarta, but for the stage 5, it's mainly just this FRN, which, yeah, whatever. I know it makes the knife lighter. I get it. It feels okay, but to me, it just makes the knife look cheap. I know that looks aren't everything. Otherwise, this knife, it's very comfortable to hold. Some people actually like the way this knife looks better than the Para 3 just because it's more of a spear point. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the super plastic cheap feeling scales. And I've seen a few aftermarket scales for this, but they're very hard to come by. And anybody that has them tend to be charging a lot for it. Then we come to the Manix. This does have some G10, which is kind of nice. I wish there's more options of it. The feel of this knife is probably the best in my hand, and I think it's just because I prefer bigger feeling knives. I don't have big hands, but I don't know. I feel like when I'm holding on one of the smaller knives, here, let's get out Para 3. When I'm holding it like this, it doesn't feel secure when I'm butting up against the end of the knife as much, especially up here. And see this on here, this doesn't feel comfortable to me. This feels more comfortable. I don't know if people really hold it this way. Here, totally fine. I feel like this is where I would be more often than not. This front trail is very comfortable, but this doesn't feel right. So I feel like I'd have to be here, which, I don't know, I feel like that's okay. I feel like I'm not losing any control. But this just immediately just feels better in my hand. Up here, too, once again, I wouldn't be here. I would probably be more up here. Just feels better in my hand. It feels like it's better contouring to where my fingers are at. Now, my complaint with the Manix, the action is awesome. Very easy, very snappy. I don't like crossbar locks. I'm not a huge fan. I wish that they could do this in a compression lock. I don't know why they haven't. I know it's a very sturdy lock, and they say that there's no blade play. And I've heard this is a very solid lock, and it's not. I was messing when I first had this knife. I was messing with it, and I felt like it was kind of peeling some of the skin off my thumbs. Not peeling off, but just roughing it up. And it still might be doing that. I've gotten a little bit more used to it. It's not hard to use, but it just makes me, I don't know, not want to fidget with it as much just because it is a crossbar lock. I know they don't call it that, but still, same kind of idea. Pulling down the 2 sides, 2 buttons to get it to close. So, my idea of hybrid would be, I guess you kind of want to say that the Manix and the Sage, very similar. Manix just kind of like the bigger version for the most part. As much as I do like the Para 3, why doesn't this have more G10 scales? I don't get it. Why isn't this one available with the compression lock? It doesn't seem like they come out with new designs for knives very often. Vosteed seems to be putting one out every month. You got Kai's doing the same thing. I don't blame Spyderco for not doing it. They have their designs that work. But just by giving more options of scales on here or locking systems on here. This one, I'm not going to complain about that stuff because, you can get aftermarket clips and scales and anything you want all the which ways. Like I said, this one, I just need to fix the blade play, and I think that's my only complaint with this, and I guess it's my own fault because I said I was just trying to fix the action so I can get drop shut, because I don't know if it's not supposed to or not, but I assumed that out of the box I should be able to do that with this knife, and I wasn't able to. But these two, I feel like would get even more love than they already do if we just had some scale options and lock options. You don't have to come out with a new knife with a new name all the time. Just give us a compression lock or even a liner lock. Give this one some different scale opportunities instead of just this plastic. I understand it's supposed to be durable. It is very lightweight. It's a light knife, even compared to the Para 3. I mean, yeah, it's night and day difference. But you know what? I'll still take this one, the Para 3. I like this sturdy feeling better than this light, cheap feel, even though I know it's not cheap. I really thought that once I saw the Sage 5 that I was going to want that one instead, and I feel like I would if I had some more scale options. Now, I go on Blade Bidge right now, and I think I saw someone selling a Sage 5 with some micarta scales, which is awesome. But, I'll get a used knife here and there, but I'd rather just have the options. I feel like it wouldn't be that difficult. Why can't I get scales similar to this on here? Why can't they put this lock on here? Now, I understand that would change the way that, I don't know, is this a backspacer? Is that what this is? Usually it's down here. Is that what this would still be called? I know that would change this. I know the blade lock wouldn't be possibly as strong, but I've heard the compression lock is pretty strong too. That these are my noob questions. There might be logical reasons why they're not doing these things, and maybe it ruins the integrity of these specific knife designs or something like that. But I feel like a company that's been able to kind of corner the market with their designs and stuff like that, I feel like that you could move this down here, give us a compression lock on this, because this knife's badass. It's a badass knife. Yes, it's nice to have the smaller ones, but this thing just feels better. You can just see your fingers just rest in all these spots perfectly, at least in my hand, perfectly. But, does this crossbar lock, I know it's not called, I know what they don't call it, the crossbar lock, whatever they call it. Does that ruin the actual function of the knife? No. It's just coming from someone that will fidget every now and then, and over time, this plastic, if that's what it is, isn't rough, but does have some contouring on it to where, if your fingers are dry, it's gonna at least roughen up the skin, if not peel it. And that's not, is that gonna make you want to use a knife a little bit less when you're worrying about having to, I don't know, ripping open your skin? It's not not trying to be a girl about it or anything like that. I've got it cut right there from messing with one of the knives the other day, so I'm not immune to all blisters and stuff like that from the knives. But that's usually from my negligence, not from the function of the knife. And with this, it just feels rough enough that, I don't know, with gloves on, of course, it's not going to matter. If it's a work knife, it won't make a difference. But for the rest of us out here, there's maybe looking for our first Spyderco and which one to go with. I mean, the size of the feel of the Manix, I like the best. I think the overall look, I might like the Sage 5 the best. But just the whole package, I think I have to go Para 3 just for, it's got the compression lock. It's got the G10, which I prefer. And like I said, if that doesn't matter to you, this might be the one to go with, because it's a lot later. And with this one, the customability, the aftermarket parts for this thing, I feel can keep this knife fresh. That as long as you take care of the blade, switching out the scales or switching out another clip. Like I tried another clip that pretty much was full deep carry, but it stuck out so much. It felt weird in the hand that, if I have to have a little bit of knife showing, that's fine. I'd rather have that to have a little bit better comfort. And I like this is a smaller clip. We don't need, some of these clips are, this one's not too bad. This is on a bigger knife, but still, it's just the clips run so high on some of these knives. Now, another thing that they could have done with the Para 3 that they did do with the Sage 5, I know it might not be the best opinion, but I hate the lanyard holes. I know some people use them. I'm sure some people may be mad at me for saying that. I don't know. I think it's unnecessary, but look where this one is compared to here. If we just put a smaller one here, this clip could be all the way back. Even on the bigger knife, put it on the side, clip can go all the way back. But just, I'm curious why they look at there, put the clip all the way at the edge of the knife, and still, you're not gonna catch the pocket until you get to here. And maybe it's intentional. Maybe so many people like to grab from here, but with these 3 screws right here, I don't want to grab that. I would rather just stick my whole hand in the pocket, get it, pull it out, and then they're ready to go. So that's my little rant on the Spydercos. I find things I love about all of them. There's nothing I hate about any of them. There's just things I don't understand about why they chose to do things the way they did. I do like how they let you mount on all 4 sides like that. On a few of them. I don't know if they could have done it with the Manix and just chose not to. I feel like that they probably could have, because I really can't see a reason why they couldn't. But I think overall, this is probably the one that's gonna be the easiest to get used to right away. Like I said, if you do decide to take it apart, have some Loctite, because otherwise it will start loosening up on you if you're a fidgeter like I am. But you can be happy with any one of these 3. They're all super easy to deploy. They're, I watched a video yesterday someone put up on, it's called The Ugly Truth of Spyderco. Ugly's in parentheses just because of, people consider the designs ugly, but that wasn't the point. It was kind of like you can grab this thing out of your pocket and you kind of know which way to hold it and how to manipulate it just by where everything is and how it's designed. And I get it. It's 100% true. Now, at the same time, most of the knives that I have reviewed and messed with, you can give it to me in a dark room, and I probably would immediately be able to figure out what's the right way to hold it in your hand and stuff like that. But I get the whole point of Spyderco does it a little bit more, obviously, with, the big, let's call it the belly that comes out to where it's almost, you put it in your hand this way, it just feels ridiculous. Now, even this way doesn't feel completely right because you have this bulge here, but that hole right there, ready to go. So let me know what you guys think, if I'm completely off base in any of these, or if there's anything additionally that you don't like and wish they had more options for. But I said the Para 3's got an aftermarket to where, there's titanium scales, micarta scales, dyed scales of different things. They have a lightweight version of this too that has the FRN on it. I don't want my Para 3 to feel like this. And this one, just give me a different lock, man. You don't need to reinvent the wheel with new knives. Just give us different options with the knives you have. And I feel like you wouldn't have to make a new knife for a while. Just switch the locks around on some of the knives and give us options to have this with the crossbar lock or the compression lock. Let us have some different scales for this one. So this one already does all that. Let these 2 do what this one does. And I think I'd be happy because I'd probably own more of them if there was more options. Some of the one, the fact that this one has so many different options on changing out scales and stuff like that, to where, the knife can look new again just by changing out the scales. And you can see that people do that stuff all the time. they're selling a knife. You know, they've got the original scales and some new ones they put on there, and get a little bit bored, switched up a little bit. But please like the video, subscribe, call me out on anything stupid I said. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks.